Mr. Hale stepped further into the living room, his shoes making no sound against the wooden floor. Margaret noticed then there was no moisture, no melting snow left behind. It was as if winter itself refused to touch him. "Please," Daniel said, forcing a polite tone, "sit by the fire." Mr. Hale tilted his head slightly, studying the flames as though they were something alive. "Fire is such a comfort," he murmured. "People believe it keeps the darkness away." The words made Margaret's stomach tighten. As he sat, the shadows in the room seemed to lean inward, stretching longer despite the steady glow of the lights. The Christmas tree ornaments trembled faintly, clinking together without being touched. One bulb popped with a sharp crack, plunging half the room into dimness. Upstairs, a slow creak echoed, deliberate, measured footsteps pacing from one end of the hallway to the other. "The kids!" Margaret whispered. Daniel started toward the stairs, but Mr. Hale spoke again, his voice calm yet impossibly heavy. "They are safe for now." Daniel turned sharply. "What did you say?" The man smiled wider, showing teeth that looked too even, too perfect. "Houses like this remember things," he said. "Every laugh, every fear, especially on nights like this." Margaret's breath fogged the air. The temperature had dropped further, cold biting at her skin. She realized with sudden dread that she could no longer hear the wind outside. No howling, no storm, just silence. Daniel glanced toward the front door. The handle trembled slightly, as if pressed from the other side. He tried it. Locked. "I don't remember locking it," he said. Mr. Hale stood slowly, his joints moving with an unnatural smoothness. The fire dimmed to glowing embers as he approached the tree. The angel at the top tilted forward, its shadow stretching down the wall like a figure hanging upside down. "You invited me," Mr. Hale said softly. "That is all I ever need." Upstairs, the children screamed. Margaret ran, her heart pounding violently as she climbed the steps. The hallway lights flickered on and off, plunging her into darkness between flashes. At the end of the hall, she saw a tall shadow bending toward the children's room, longer than any human shape should be. Daniel followed, shouting for his kids. Behind them, downstairs, the living room settled into perfect stillness. The fire went out completely. The Christmas lights blinked once, twice, then glowed brighter than before. Mr. Hale's reflection finally appeared in the mirror, and this time it smiled before he did. Margaret burst into the children's room, gasping for breath. The lights flickered wildly, casting broken shadows across the walls. The room was empty. "Emma? Lucas?" Her voice cracked as she spun in place. The closet door creaked open slowly. The children stumbled out, trembling, their faces pale with fear. "He was here," Emma whispered. "The smiling man. He stood by the bed and watched us breathe." Daniel pulled them close, his heart pounding. "You're safe now," he said, though he didn't believe it himself. Downstairs, a soft humming drifted upward, slow, melodic, almost joyful. A Christmas carol, sung in a voice far too calm for the terror gripping the house. Mr. Hale. The family hurried down the stairs. The living room looked wrong. The fire was out, yet the room glowed faintly, as if lit by something unseen. The Christmas tree lights pulsed gently, matching the rhythm of Mr. Hale's humming. He stood near the window, hands folded neatly behind his back. "You should be resting," he said without turning around. "Long nights are exhausting for families." Daniel clenched his fists. "You need to leave, now." Mr. Hale turned slowly. His smile never faded. "I cannot leave. I was welcomed." Margaret noticed the clock on the wall. The hands were frozen at 12 a.m. Time pauses on nights like this. It gives me more opportunity. The children whimpered as the house groaned, deep, low sounds rising from the walls themselves. Floorboards bent slightly under Mr. Hale's feet, as if the house bowed to him. Margaret grabbed her phone. No signal, no power. The screen went black the moment she looked at him. "We'll call the police," Daniel said, backing toward the door. Mr. Hale chuckled softly. No one hears screams in a house that chooses silence. The front door rattled violently as Daniel tried it again, the windows iced over from the inside, frost forming strange symbols that twisted into shapes resembling faces. Suddenly, Lucas screamed. A shadow peeled itself from the ceiling and dropped behind the boy, towering, thin, and wrong. Mr. Hale didn't move, but his smile widened as the shadow crept closer. Fear feeds the house, and the house feeds me. Margaret grabbed a lamp and smashed it against the shadow. It shrieked, not with sound, but with pressure, causing everyone's ears to ring. The lights exploded one by one, plunging the room into near darkness. When the glow returned, the shadow was gone. Mr. Hale stood inches from Daniel. You feel it now, this warmth, this terror. Christmas is such a generous night. Daniel shoved him, but his hands passed through Mr. Hale's chest like smoke. The man stepped back, untouched. I do not sleep. I wait. The family huddled together as footsteps echoed through the house, circling them above and below, faster and faster, until the walls themselves seemed to breathe. And somewhere within the house, something began to laugh. The laughter faded into a low murmur, as if the house itself were whispering secrets through the walls. Daniel pressed his back against the staircase, shielding the children. Margaret's eyes darted around the room, tracking shadows that no longer obeyed the light. "We have to understand what he is," she whispered. "Understanding gives us a chance." Mr. Hale stood near the Christmas tree, his reflection lagging behind him in the darkened window. "People always say that," he replied, "and yet they still invite me in." Margaret remembered something then, her grandmother's stories, half-forgotten warnings about Christmas visitors and doors opened out of kindness. She rushed to the study, rifling through old boxes and family records. The house groaned as if protesting her search. She found a brittle newspaper clipping dated 1952. Local family found missing after Christmas Eve fire. The photograph made her blood run cold. Standing beside the smiling family was Mr. Hale, unchanged, untouched by time. More clippings followed, different years, different families, same house style, same man. "He comes when he's invited," Margaret said shakily, "when warmth is offered freely." Mr. Hale nodded approvingly. "Hospitality is a powerful thing." Daniel confronted him, anger breaking through fear. "What are you?" Mr. Hale stepped closer, and the shadows folded inward, merging with his outline. His face seemed to blur, edges wavering like smoke. "I am what remains when people disappear and no one remembers them. I am the guest who stays when everyone else leaves." The temperature plunged. Frost crawled across the walls, forming faces locked in silent screams. "You take families," Margaret said. "You trap them here." "I give them forever," Mr. Hale corrected gently. "They become part of the house, its memories, its heartbeat." A scream echoed from upstairs. "Emma!" Margaret ran, heart pounding, as the hallway stretched impossibly long. At the end stood Emma, frozen in place, staring at a mirror that now showed dozens of people behind her. Families from different eras, all smiling, all unmoving. Mr. Hale appeared behind Margaret without a sound. Once you stay long enough, the house remembers you more than the world ever did. Daniel grabbed an old iron poker from the fireplace and swung at Mr. Hale. The metal passed through him, but the house screamed, walls cracking, beams groaning. Mr. Hale staggered slightly. Margaret realized the truth. He's tied to the house. Yes, Mr. Hale admitted, voice darker now, and the house is tied to belief. Daniel slammed the poker into the floor, shattering a floorboard. Beneath it lay old bones, fused into the wood itself. Families, Daniel whispered. The house trembled violently, lights exploded, the tree toppled over, ornaments shattering like skulls. Mr. Hale's smile finally faltered. "You should not have looked so closely," he hissed. The front door burst open on its own, howling wind rushing in for the first time that night. But freedom came with a price. The house was awake now, and it was hungry. The wind tore through the house, screaming like something finally freed. Snow whipped into the hallway, melting instantly on the floorboards that pulsed faintly, as if alive. The front door stood wide open, its edges cracked and splintered, begging the family to run. "Now!" Daniel shouted. They moved as one, Margaret clutching Emma's hand, Daniel pulling Lucas close as the house groaned in fury. Walls warped inward, shrinking the hallway, trying to pull them back. Faces bulged beneath the wallpaper, mouths opening in silent pleas. Mr. Hale stood near the tree, his form flickering violently. Cracks ran through his smile like shattered glass. "If you leave," he warned, voice echoing from everywhere at once, "you take the house's memory with you." The floor buckled. A long black shadow burst upward, wrapping around Margaret's ankle. She screamed as cold spread through her veins like ice water. Daniel grabbed her arms, digging his heels into the floor as the house shrieked. "Let go!" Margaret cried. "Save the children!" "No!" Daniel roared. "We leave together." With a final desperate pull, the shadow tore loose, leaving black frost burning Margaret's skin. The house howled, enraged. They ran. The moment they crossed the threshold, the wind died. The door slammed shut on its own. Snow fell softly again, covering the marks of struggle, as if nothing had happened. Behind the door, Mr. Hale screamed, not in pain, but in loss. Morning came, quietly. Neighbors noticed smoke rising from the old Harper house and called the authorities. Firefighters forced the door open to find the home intact. No fire damage, no signs of struggle, and no family. Only a living room perfectly arranged for Christmas. A new photograph sat above the fireplace. It showed the Harpers standing beside the Christmas tree, smiling peacefully. Margaret's eyes were hollow, Daniel's expression frozen mid-fear, and standing behind them, hands resting gently on their shoulders, was Mr. Hale, his smile warm once more. That night, the house waited. Elsewhere, miles away, a small farmhouse glowed softly under fresh snowfall. A family laughed inside, unaware of the cold figure standing at the end of their driveway. A polite man in a dark coat stepped onto the porch. 3 gentle knocks echoed through the night. Not loud, not urgent, just patient. Inside, someone moved toward the door, and somewhere, deep within a house that would never forget, a smile returned. The end.